Good evening, and welcome to a short episode of Yummy Data Science. In the previous episode, we talked about Joseph Minard's famous visualization of the French army's march towards Moscow in its quest to invade and conquer Russia and bring the Tsar to um, his heels. So in this visualization, I'd like to show you how this famous visualization has been reimagined in two top-notch visualization tools. And these are Tableau and Power BI. And I have very positive experiences with both, so I'll be talking about them a little bit. That is not to say that I do not like other visualization tools. Ours, our Shiny is excellent, as is several Python tools, including Dash. And the open source visualization keeps getting better and better. But to set the context, let me first show you what Minard's original visualization looks like. Here is Minard's original visualization, and you can see it is both shocking and informative. And one thing that jumped out at me when I saw the same visualization in Tableau and Power BI is the size of the army as it came back. In Minard's original visualization, you can see the sizes very clearly. How the army is 442,000 men as it starts its campaign from present day Lithuania, ends up in Moscow with 100,000 men. So, having lost 342,000 men, and then begins its retreat from 100,000 down all the way through the brutal winter to 10,000. And so the line at the very end, the black line, is indicative of 10,000 men. And if you stack up this line in the red lines, then you will get to exactly, this will represent 440,000 men. So the scale is amazing. Okay, so enough suspense. Let me show you first the visualization in Tableau. So you can see it's actually very impressive. And Tableau is an extremely powerful and flexible tool. The kinds of things you can do with Tableau and what users have discovered, the so-called hacks, they are so interesting and riveting that I spent almost 2 years during one part of my career obsessively learning about Tableau and trying these tips and tricks. So this is a map, and then he has represented Satoshi. I'm sorry, I do not know what their gender is, so I'm gonna refer to them as they. So they have, accurately represented the sizes, but it's not so dramatic, I think, in my opinion. The map is obviously a little bit more realistic and the scales, and I like what they've done with the temperature. So it's overall on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is the original visualization. I would give it a solid 9. Here is Power BI's visualization. And Power BI, like Tableau, is an extremely powerful tool, visualization tool. And here, the artist, the creator, has imagined a Napoleon's army coming in red and then retreating in the gray. The one thing I don't quite like about it is that I'm not sure if the scales, whether these flow lines are to the scale. So that jumps out at me. But that's not to say it is a limitation of the tool. It could simply be the visualizations, depiction an emphasis on that part of the story. So let's talk a little bit about Tableau and Power BI. And in your experience as an analyst or data engineer or a data scientist, one thing you'll need to do is visualizations. It doesn't matter what area of data science you work in, but this is a key skill to have. So I love both Tableau and Power BI. And as I said before, I spent about 2 years of my career obsessively learning Tableau. And then a few years later, I did the same thing with Power BI. And I love them both. So I'm going to punt off the comparison of these two tools to others. So I found a pretty good LinkedIn post, and that talks about the differences between the two and where you should use. So I do think that Tableau has that drama effect. And it has more of a human, like I'm drawing it actually effect rather than, so it's more fluid, less angular. Uh, Now, Tableau does have a very powerful data merging, matching, data combination. It's called data blending in Tableau. That is very powerful, but that cannot compare with the ingestion and the data engineering power of Power BI. And I think it's because Power BI is deeply embedded in Microsoft's suite of tools. And so Microsoft has packed Power BI with tools to ingest the data. Um, I love Tableau's language. It's really pretty powerful and can do a lot of very flexible reporting. Similarly, in Power BI DAX, the language DAX is very intuitive and fascinating. So I would say learn them both. And you will find that in a couple weeks, you can pick up Tableau and Power BI. And as you go a little bit deeper and deeper into it, you will find that your journey becomes even more interesting. And then you might even find yourself being OCD about these tools. So thank you for listening. Happy learning.